welcome to Vibing with Zero Waste Heroes, a Learn by the Nuggets special series. I'm Ambily Adithyan, GAIA Asia Pacific Zero Waste City Officer based out of India. And I'm delighted to share with you that in this series, we will be highlighting the work of our modern day zero waste heroes. Oftentimes, we see zero waste workers as serious, stern looking activists protesting on the streets or lobbying with the policymakers. However, what has been the lighter side to it? Have you ever noticed what inspires them? Why do they do what they do? What motivates them to keep doing this in their day-to-day life? Since this is International Women's Month, we would like to focus on menstrual health, menstrual waste, and other taboos surrounding it. Joining me today is Swastika Thapa of Zero Waste Himalaya. Hi Swastika.
Hi everyone, my name is Swastika and I'm originally from Kalimpong but based in Darjeeling for a very long time now. And I've been working in an organization called Darjeeling Prerna. And I started my professional journey towards sustainable menstrual health from the year 2016, where I started working with school children, and then I worked with tea garden communities, agriculture communities, and after which I personally gave up on plastic pads and made the switch to more reusable options like cloth pads and menstrual cups. And ever since then, there's no looking back, and I feel very happy that I've taken this decision, and it is, I think, the best decision ever. And I always wonder, why didn't I know about this earlier? Yeah, so that's a short description about me.
Thank you, Swastika. That was very nice to hear about you. So, tell me, what inspired you to embark on this journey of a sustainable lifestyle, especially sustainable menstrual lifestyle?
Okay, so the silence around menstruation, the taboos, and the rising concerns of the plastic, disposable pads, its effects on health and environment are some of the factors which inspires me. And ever since I was small, also, I have been through a part of this, the taboos and restrictions from my family, where I was not allowed to not allowed to perform some regular routine tasks which I was performing when I was not menstruating. So when all these restrictions and these practices they were imposed on me, I always used to wonder, why is there so much of silence? Why am I not allowed to do this as a child? And fortunately, after in my professional journey, I got a chance to work in this field, and I'm very much interested in this subject, and also for the fact that a lot of work still needs to be done in this field, especially when it comes to the sustainable menstruation, because not much of the focus has been there on the sustainable menstrual part.
Thank you. I totally agree with you because I too come from India, and we know how many taboos are associated with a subject like menstruation. And we all had seen different kind of taboos while we were growing up. And yes, it's still difficult, but thank you for raising that point. Now, Swastika, let's move to part 2 of our fireside chat, where we have gathered questions from the GAIA team.
And for this, joining us will be Sonia and Trish.
Guys, I'm Sonia Astudillo, GAIA Asia Pacific Communications Officer, and joining me is...
Hi, I'm Trish. I'm the Network Development and Campaign Associate.
Okay, so Trish, you
So-
want to read the first question?
Yeah, thanks, Sonia. So, we're dying to know, Swas, what are the biggest health and social issues around commercial menstrual health products?
So at present, there are a lot of this synthetic ingredients in the commercial sanitary pads. So it mainly consists of this odor neutralizers, these fragrances, and they are highly observant chemicals are also there. And these chemicals are posing a very serious effect on the health of the user as well as the environment. Because these dioxins, they are chemicals called dioxins, furans, which we normally find in this commercial disposable pads. And this dioxins, when they enter your bloodstream, it can be there for 20 to 30 years. It mixes with your blood, and then it remains in your body for a very long time. And this may cause health effects like it's carcinogenic in nature, and this may cause yeast infections, rashes, and other infections like reproductive, RTI, UTI. These are mainly the challenges of the disposable products, and it is more of a concern because this pad manufacturing companies, this pad and tampon manufacturing companies, they have got the license in which they are not required to disclose what it is in their product. So that is kind of an advantage for them, because it is due to the fact, because this why can't they say, is because they are termed as medical devices. This pads and tampons are terms as medical devices. So because of that, they don't require to disclose what are their pads made up of, what the ingredients are there in the pad. So it is a very serious concern for the user, because most of the user, they don't know what is in their pads. And also for the fact that it is causing a lot of issue for the environment, because this disposable pads are made up of 90% plastic. And since it's made up of 90% plastic, it doesn't decompose at all. And as we know that, there is no disposal solution in the world for today till date. So also the plastic, it doesn't decompose, as I said, and even to break down into tiny bits and pieces, it takes around 500 to 800 years. So you can imagine the amount of pad that a menstruator, or even we, for the fact, we use every month, that also on a very delicate portion of our body, posing a lot of issue, risk, for our health and as well as the environment.
Thanks, Swaz. Okay, next one is a yes or no question. So do you have your paper with you?
Yes.
Question is, do you think women should have more say on this issue?
Yes, of course. They should be having. It's their right.
Rish?
Yeah, couldn't agree more, Sauce, on what you said. So for the next question, there are alternative products available. How do you make it more popular?
Yeah, so now what we see is there is less awareness on the reusable, options or the alternative products to disposable or tampons or pads, because our, it's a market is dominated by disposable products. Also in the TV advertisement, we hardly get to see advertisement that shows these products, like the reusable options. So many of the women, or even for the matter of fact, menstruators, they are not aware that these options are there. And I think we can make it popular by making this reusable options more available, because currently we don't find it in the market. It's only available online, so it's out of the reach. Even if people want to use it, it's out of their reach. And also in all the awareness programs, training, sensitization programs, the advantages of this reusables options should be focused. Why is there a need to use these products? Why is this beneficial? What are the disadvantages of the plastic products? So in all the programs, awareness, trainings, everything, this product should be focused and also made available.
Yeah, and I believe until now it's still very expensive in a lot of countries. No? So I'm curious, I just want to know, how long have you been using your cup or your pads?
I think it's been more than 5 years now.
How is it? Tell us more. I'm sure a lot of women listening here would love to know. Is it difficult? I mean, tell us more details, please.
It's very, very, very the best choice I think I've made, because when I came to know, I was also unaware of this fact, like many of the women or the menstruators are present. So as I came to know about the toxics that this pads contained, I didn't want to use it anymore. I didn't want to see it also. So at once, it was quite difficult for me to switch over to menstrual cups, because at first I was scared because of the shape, and it was something I had seeing for the first time. So I thought okay, I'll try it with the cloth pads. Then I started using cloth pads, and I started giving awareness. In all my awareness programs, I used to talk about cloth pads and also menstrual cups. But I was not confident enough to talk about menstrual cup because I was not using it. And it's very not right to talk about something which you don't fully know about it until and unless you experience. So then finally one day I gathered the courage, and I did a lot of research. I searched YouTube and videos and tutorials, and then I said, no, I will try this. Let me see how does it feel. And then there's no looking back for me. Since then I've been using it. It's been more than 5 years now, and believe me, it's the best options available. And till now also I wish I had known it earlier.
Trish?
Yeah, just a question also. Building from what you said, I'm also curious. Since you've been using reusable cups and of course pads, I'm just wondering who among the age groups are more flexible or who are willing to use these reusables, at least based from your experience.
So actually, I don't think so there is any particular age for switching to these reusables, but there are a lot of taboos related to menstrual cups, because this virginity thing is attached with it, right? And it's culturally, in some societies, this menstrual cups is also not acceptable, because of the cultural taboo and all that. So I recommend for this menstrual cups, it's best if the age group from above 18 years, they can try the menstrual cups. Not recommended for below 18, because we don't want to put a pressure, or we don't want to also go against the taboo, the cultural thing which is there. And plus, if you are comfortable, it's fine, but I think it's best if it's for 18 and above, because then you know your body well. And but what you can also do is, for below 18 years, for adolescent girls, I think you can use and try these cloth pads.
Yeah, thanks so much, Swas. So for the next question, with more women leading nations, do you think we have more advancement or progress with regards to menstrual health? So this is just a yes or no question.
I would not fully say yes also and not no also. It's somewhere in between, because I feel there is still a lot of work to be done in this field.
Next question is a multiple choice question. Who do you think has more leverage in affecting change with regards to menstrual health and waste issues? Letter A is a country's president, B, women policymakers, C, women NGO bosses. We have a lot of that in our network. And D, corporate lady bosses.
So can I tick all of them? Can I choose all of them?
Say yes, all.
I think it's not possible to bring a change alone, or it should not be in silos. I think each and every one of us, they have responsibilities, being it from the donor or be it from clubs, organization, government, private, public sector, women, everybody, including the society, because a lot of taboos and misconceptions, it is within the society, and until and unless they don't change it, or until and unless they don't actually feel that this is not good, it's very, very difficult to bring a change at the higher level. So it has to come from the grassroots eventually to the top level, I think. Yeah, so that is what I feel.
So I know you've mentioned all of them. So for the next question, if you are to become one of them, what 3 policies will you make? You can just choose one, or I'll leave that to you.
So I think recognizing this menstrual health as a public health issue is very important, because that is still not been considered. And also, bringing all the stakeholders into a single platform, where they are shared learnings, and instead of working in silos, I said, a collaborative effort is very, very necessary to bring about a big change or a positive change. And also, making this reusables more popular, like maybe through advertisement, through awareness campaigns, and also readily available in markets, which is still not there at present.
What about the cultural beliefs that still consider menstruation a taboo? How do you feel about that?
I feel very sad because, today as the world is progressing towards scientific innovations, out of things are happening at a very rapidly, the change, but as long as where menstruation, this thought and belief, the misconception, we have failed to move ahead. The taboos, the misconception, the superstitious is still what it used to be before, because till now menstruation is considered something which is dirty. A menstruator during that time is considered somebody whom you should not touch, untouchable. You should not do not enter the kitchen, not cook food, because the food will get polluted. If you pray to God, the God will get angry. Such kind of baseless beliefs are still there, and it quite amazes me also, but how? Because whenever I conduct these awareness programs and I ask women all these things, it comes from them, and I ask them why, and they don't know the reason why. They'll usually say, because my mom told me. And when I tell them who told their mom told me. So it's going up, grandmother, great grandmother, it's going backwards. But they fail to, we have failed to question, why, why is there this? And nobody actually has a reason. So it's high time, we should come out of all these misconceptions, superstitions, because it's causing a lot of negative impact on the health of the adolescent, even the menstruators. They don't have this health-seeking behavior because of these reasons. And even if they have some serious problem related to menstruation, they think it's perfectly fine. And menstruation is usually considered something which is very painful, and it's okay if you have to face this kind of pain also. They are able to they are okay to bear it, because they think it's menstruation is supposed to be like this. So and also most of the doctors, the gynecologists, they are males, so they have this they are very hesitant to go if they have any problems related to this. So all the small factors like this, it's all because of this societal myths and taboos which still exist. So it's affecting a lot to all the menstruators.
Interesting how those beliefs are passed on from generation to the next, but then the cloth pads which our ancestors used to use are not passed on to us.
Cloth was something which is not new. It was something which our grandmothers, mothers, they used it. But the taboos again is attached to the cloth pad, saying that cloth pad is causes infection, it is bad. And because at that time what used to happen is, because of these taboos again, women menstruators, they used to, after using it, they used to dry it after washing the cloth pad. They used to usually dry it in the dark corners of the bathroom when nobody would see it, especially the male members, because of the taboo. And it was usually kept in somewhere where there is no sunlight and no air. And because of this, what happened, the infection, the bacterial growth took place. And they started using that only, and that is how they started getting infections, and that is how the concept came, like cloth pad causes infection. But actually it's the taboos which prevented them from trying the cloth pads out in the open in the sun, because the sun is a natural disinfectant. That was not there, the knowledge was missing. So
Now, Swaz, here's an interesting one. A question from our male staff.
Should men be also involved in debunking period myths?
So we have been trying to involve men for a very long time in our awareness campaigns, but what usually happens is when male and female, they come under the same roof and we start discussing about this, the men and older women, they usually stand up and they just leave the room. So this has happened in our cases, and we don't want to force them to stay also, because this taboo thing is there from a very, very long time, and it needs time, it needs time to break this. It doesn't happen in one awareness campaigns. I think continued awareness programs, sensitization programs, trainings can be done, not just once, but it has to be continuous. And if and first I think it is important to educate women, so that the women can also go back home and some kind of awareness is generated, and then include men and also the older women of the society, whom we generally tend to leave out in the awareness campaigns, because what they say is okay, I've attained this menopause, so I don't need to know this, I have already passed through this. But we also have to recognize that they are the key influences where it comes to taboos, because at their homes, respective homes, they are the one who is usually delegating, saying that this is a taboo, so you are not supposed to do this while you're menstruating. So they are the one who usually impose the rules and regulations on the other women who are menstruating. So it's very important for men as well as the other section, the older women in the community, to also involve in all the programs to remove all the taboos, to break the silence on menstruation.
Thank you, Swaz, for indulging us, for being so candid. Now we switch back to Ambily for more in-depth discussion.
Thank you, Swastika, for sharing that. I see that you are very passionate about this issue, and I'm sure you will be able to achieve, what you have started on this journey. So I wish you all the best. Now, you remember you mentioned about the need to bring all the players or all the stakeholders together. So what can we do to make that happen? Because we know that is important, but how do we make that happen?
Yes, I think it's not only organizations NGOs that can come together, but also at the government level, if there is support from the government, then automatically things will change. And for that, we need to, I think, sensitize, or maybe bring in more other NGOs working in different countries, or maybe states for that matter. First at the regional level we can start up, and then maybe at the country level, and then at the world level, international platform. So maybe we can together have some discussions on what is needed and what are the things which needs to be the menstrual health needs to be prioritized, and what can be done, the challenges, the opportunities, everything can be discussed, and then as a collaborative NGOs or the other organization clubs, they can work together on this issue together. So because it's a common issue, and right now what is happening is everyone is doing their bits and pieces, but it's spreading across in different directions. But we need to have a common idea, a common goal, aim, so that a maximum they can bring in more period positivity. The menstruators can bleed with dignity and pride, and not consider menstruation as something which is dirty or impure. So maybe this small change can bring in a lot of greater impact.
So well said. So well said. I think it's time. In fact, many of the governments and organizations are talking a lot about plastic waste and its impact on the health and the environment. I think it's time now to also move to products like sanitary pads, which you mentioned takes almost 500 years to degrade. So, and only when people like you and me talk about such issues, I think these issues will be more highlighted, and we can get the attention of every stakeholder, so that we can have a safer and a healthier future for future menstruators. Thank you so much. So, maybe one of the last parting question. There are many women who might be listening to you today. So, if there are 5 things that you would want to tell these women to do right now or in the future, so that they can protect their menstrual health, move away from creating menstrual waste, or just debunk period myths. So what would be those 5 things or 5 mantras that you would want to share with our women listeners today?
I think the first would be to take care of your menstrual health, eat healthy, and take a lot of iron, rich foods during this time, especially green vegetables which are rich in iron, and that would be the first one. And secondly, move away from the disposables, and thirdly, explore and switch to reusable options, just try it out for once. And last would be to break the taboos on menstruation, and let's all talk about
I agree with you once again on this, the need to talk about this, and not just to your mother, to your girlfriends, but also to your partners, to your brothers, to your fathers, because it's important that they are also part of these conversations, so that breaking the myth becomes more easier. It's not a women only issue. Men need to be a part of it equally, and I think in India especially, the reason women are looked down upon during menstruation is because men are not part of it. Men do not understand what a woman undergoes. So absolutely, I agree with you. So thank you so much. I would just want to ask you if you have any final parting thoughts for our viewers who are listening to you, something that they can take back and start working on it maybe from today onwards.
Yeah, so lastly, I would like to say that let's think about sustainable menstruation. And sustainable menstruation is not something which is difficult. It's easy, and it's not easy, or you can just try it for once, and then you'll just get the hang of it, and you'll never want to look back to this disposable plastics, because plastics, they are a major threat to environment and our health as well. And especially this disposable pads, which are often not talked about, as I mentioned, I've been mentioning earlier too, it's not talked about, and still many women are not aware of the plastic composition, the chemical composition in the pads, and only the good side of it is shown to us, which we easily get carried away. So let's just switch and think about more sustainability, and let's try embracing sustainable periods, because that is possible. We can do it. We all can do it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Swaz. It was so nice talking to you. And I'm sure all these listeners today, even if few of them embrace their menstrual health, embrace sustainable menstruation, I'm sure I can credit that to you for such inspiring thought that you shared with us, made them take that action. So I'm sure all the women here, some would definitely be inspired after hearing you today, and would start on their journey of debunking menstrual myths, opting for sustainable menstruation, and ensuring that menstruation and safe menstruation is accessible to every woman in the world. So thank you so much for joining me today, Swastika. And for others who are listening to Vibing with Zero Waste Heroes, do check out GAIA Asia Pacific Instagram. We have invited 31 women to debunk period myths over our Instagram reels. And to women watching today, listening to Vibing with Zero Waste Heroes, let's embrace the hero within us whenever you can find, inspire, and vibe with a Zero Waste hero. With this, I, Ambily, would like to sign off. Thank you, everyone, once again for being part of this session.
Thank you so much.